Hey, babe. Hello, all, and welcome to the Affluent Marriage Pod.
Graham Fam style.
You're listening to one financial coach and one educator talk about living a rich and full marriage through generational wealth building principles, authentic two-way communication strategies, and everything in between to become a couple that lives in love and walks in wealth. Your legacy begins here. It is a Saturday morning for us, and we are living the dream right now.
Living the dream.
Because we just dropped off our children at the in-laws at Nana and Papa's house.
Best.
And we're kid-free, and we are spending it with you.
Yes. Graham Fam, welcome. If you are here and you're listening to this, that means that you've decided to subscribe to our membership and you decided to be a part of Graham Fam. And for that, we just want to say thank you so much. And I know that there are plenty of ways that you can use your income, and we're happy that you chose to spend it with us. We really appreciate that. Also, if you want to learn our love language, it is sharing. Sharing is caring. Okay. So use hashtag GrahamFam. I literally just came up with that.
Good.
But that's what we're doing. Hashtag GrahamFam. And if there is any part of this that was like absolute gold to you, put it in your stories, put it in your posts. Let people know where you got this amazing information from, because let's not all keep this to ourselves. We want to make sure that everyone around us is actually, getting wealthy and creating legacy for themselves. And so that would be the best way.
Right. I certainly don't take it lightly that you decided to spend your time and your resources on us. So we want to make sure that we give back to you, and we're going to give you as much valuable information as we can to help you build your generational wealth. That's our goal today.
Yeah.
So last episode, we spoke on the importance of your mindset, specifically having a growth mindset and how it's critical to building your generational wealth.
Ooh, that was a good one.
If you're stuck in your limited beliefs with a fixed mindset, then take a look around at your surroundings and get comfortable and get used to it, because you're going to be there for a while.
Ooh,
it's really hard
it is
to get out of a fixed mindset.
It really is.
When you're stuck in that. And I don't want that for you, but if that's where you are and you have no aspiration of getting out, pull up a chair, get comfortable.
Because you're going to be here for a little bit.
You're going to be there for a little bit.
Yeah.
There's only one way out of a fixed mindset. And that is and it's not through more money.
Nope. We'll discuss that.
It's not having more dates. It's nothing external. You have to get your magic school bus on and take a trip into the Arnold that is yourself.
Not that episode.
And you have to explore your mind.
Yes.
No, the whole point is it starts from within.
I just love that episode. That episode is like ingrained into the millennial brain, because you remember that episode when they went into Arnold's body when it wasn't even Arnold. It was Arnold because he sneezed, but it was also that one kid because he got sick that one day. Magic School Bus was a good show. There you go. That's our first tangent for the day.
It has to go in you like the watermelon seed went into, was it Tommy?
Yes. And Angelica
Rugrats?
told him that he would grow a watermelon.
Right. So the point is, it starts from within. You can't break out of your fixed mindset unless it starts in your mind. You change your words, you change your mindset. You have that growth mindset. So that was the whole point. I just said our affluent archive, change your words, change your mindset. So that was the whole point of our last episode. So I really hope you guys listened in to that episode, but it's time to blow some minds here.
Yeah. And because you guys are here and Graham Fam, we get to be a little bit more relaxed. So we don't necessarily have like a time, not that much relaxed, my friend. But we get to kind of like really just kind of be a lot more conversational and a lot more real. And so I'm excited because we're already real for, our normal one, but we're trying to make sure that we keep things at a certain time. For you guys, we just want to like pour it all out. We're going to let it all out for you. So I'm excited.
I mean, that's literally, I just unzipped my shirt
not that
bit.
All out, dude.
Okay. I mean, they're paying. Are you ready for takeaway number 5?
I am.
A 1, a 2,
Nobody's
a 3,
gonna
4,
hear this
5.
one.
We're about to take a Rachel dive so my friends can thrive with the generational wealth.
Guys,
yeah, that's Mamba number 5.
You are in for a treat.
Here's number 5.
Okay.
Women should focus on building networks and relationships that can help them achieve their goals.
Amen.
So we're going to break this into 2 parts for you guys. The first part, of course, is networking, what that looks like, why you should network, how you should network, all about that. And then the second part is going to be building those relationships and the importance of having different types of relationships in your life.
Right.
So you want to build a network. So you want to build a network.
I love
I'm
that
feeling
you literally have notes here about what songs you want to sing
I'm
with
feeling
these.
very toony today.
So this is what happens when we don't have kids in the house, right? It's not late at night.
We start talking about kid shows and singing kid songs. This is
true.
bad.
It's true. So here we go. So we already talked about this beforehand. Like, how are we going to talk about this in terms of like this first Graham Fam episode? And we thought about it and we were like, you know what? Like, I really have probably more understanding of the network part of things.
Sure.
So I'm going to take, a little bit more, I guess, reins on that one. And in terms of the relationship, I feel like that could be relationships between family, also spouses and stuff like that. And so he's probably going to have some more insight on that, but we both are going to chime in on that one. But yeah, so just to kind of give you guys a heads up of like what's ahead.
Sure. But I definitely have some guiding notes and I will definitely be pitching in.
Yes.
But for sure, you are
rein
the
me back
entrepreneur. You are the self-proclaimed business owner, six-figure business owner, Black owned. So I love that.
I
say that. I feel like I hype that up more than you do.
You do.
love
I
it.
honestly don't even think about it. I'm like, yeah. And then I'm like, oh, you know what? You're right. I am Black. And it's not that I don't, I'm just me. Like I'm doing my thing. I'm not thinking about
Here we
that.
go, Kim. For the Graham Fam, why is it important, in your opinion, why is networking important?
Network is so vital to your business. Listen, when we were before the age of the internet, okay, we had people would do networking conferences. They still do conferences, but like we would do networking conferences. Salesmen would go door to door and talk to you. And, you either would be like, no, I don't want it. Or you might have a conversation with someone. You would have, conversations that would lead to other ways for you to build parties, right? Think about the Tupperware parties and all that stuff that would happen. Women would get together, we would chat, we would talk. And then all of a sudden they would be like, I have a friend who would really love this. And then you would network and all that stuff. And you would find people that could take you relationally to different levels of your business. And I feel like even now in this like day and age of internet, we have an infinite, and I say that a lot because it's so true. We have so many opportunities to connect with other people. And I think the reason why networking can sometimes get like a little bit of a scummy aftertaste into it, because we don't want to come off as sleazy or as that sleazy business person, or we don't want those bro tactics. We don't want any of that. And you don't have to do it that way. I want you to think about the best way that you'd like to be connected with, right? Could it be through a podcast? This is a way that you can network with someone, because as you start to connect with people who are listening to your content, they are growing trust in you, which means it's easier for them to say, hey, you know what? This is totally me forecasting something that I would love to happen, right? Someone would say, I would love everything that you and Dan are talking about. Would you be interested in coming to speak on one of our stages? And the answer would be a resounding yes. We would 100% do that, right? So this is a form of networking, but there's so many different types of networking, and it's so important because that's how you build a business. You cannot build it by yourself. It's not possible. Every person who has built a big, has all you need employees, you need business partners, you need people who are experts in other places of business that you are not expert in, so that you can focus on your zone of genius. You have to have people around you. So that is why network is important.
From an educator standpoint, when I think about networking, this is how it could apply to other people who are listening in. There are students that I'm going to reach more than anyone else. There's going to be students that I talk to that they're just going to have that connection with me, and I'm going to pour into their life in ways that other teachers couldn't.
Right.
But there are students who, no matter what I do, the Graham way is just not working, and I am not reaching these students. So I have to talk, I have to network with other teachers who have had these students, or just other teachers, and ask them their opinions. Like, what can I do to reach little Susie?
Right.
Because everything I've tried is just not working. We don't have that connection. I don't know. I'm at a loss.
It's true.
I think the same thing can be true with your business. The same thing can be true with your job. Networking is so important because your reach is only so far, right? God gave you those short little arms.
I do it. I'm a little T-Rex.
And you, little T-Rex. I'm got a big head and little arms.
I don't know how this is thought through. Name that movie. Such a good movie.
You can only reach so far. And your audience is going to all be a certain type of person that is catered and drawn to you.
Right.
So it's important to network because there are going to be other people that can reach people that you can't. And then together you can connect your audiences
And that kind of
your pool will be greater.
And that kind of goes along with that mindset thing, because if you feel like, oh, well, I have to do this myself. I can't do, like, I have, even for females, especially with kids, I have to do it myself. I have to take care of the kids. I have to do all these things. I have to do it myself. That's just the way it is. That's the way my parents did it. That's the way I have to do it. Like, break free from that, because you cannot do this alone, even in normal, like, relationships, growing a family. You need a village. You need people around you who are going to lift you up and support you in places, because your reach can only go so far. Your energy can only go so far. So yes,
Network's important
in general.
That way you can meet people like the Robinsons, right? Like, it's very important
Yes.
that you network. The
true.
Robinsons are out there. You just got to find them. You got to meet them.
That's true. You got to meet them.
See what I did there?
Such a good movie.
See
It
what I did
is.
there?
But have you never seen Meet the Robinsons? You're going to find a lot of Disney nerd stuff that just gets woven through here. So yeah, that is seriously my favorite movie.
All right. So I guess now what I'm going to go into is, how does someone even begin to network? So I'm going to kind of kick this off here. All right. I have a couple points. My first point is this. It reminds me of, I don't know the movie, babe, because I've never seen it, but what's the Ryan Gosling film where he's talking to that chick and maybe it's raining or something and he's yelling at her?
Notebook.
Is that what it is?
The Notebook.
I have never seen The
You've
Notebook.
never seen The Notebook?
I've never seen
I haven't notebooked you?
You've not notebooked me.
Oh my gosh,
and
this needs to happen.
I don't desire to be notebooked.
No, you need to be notebooked.
So, but here's the thing that stands out is there's that scene and he's yelling at her, "What do you want?" Right? I quote this to you all the time.
Simple.
What do you want? Right?
It's not that simple.
So when you are trying to network, you need to first stop and ask yourself, what do I want?
Oh, now, oh my gosh. How many references are we going to bring
Sorry,
into
that
this?
was Kevin from
That
The
was
Office.
The Office.
What do I want? What do I want? You need to identify, what is your target audience? Who are you trying to reach? Who are you trying to talk to?
Yeah.
What, you need to figure out your goals for this networking relationship. Like, what are you trying to accomplish here?
Right. Yeah. So you need to know who you're trying to reach. I think that's super important. When you're first starting out networking, it's totally okay if you don't know. So I just want to say, for those of you who are just starting a business, who are just trying to get themselves out there, it's okay if you don't know who your target audience is right now. I started off in financial coaching or wanting to help people with finances, and I wanted to help everybody. And then quickly I learned from doing beta conference, talking to people, networking with people, that I was like, nope, don't like that. And that is okay. Those networks can still be viable and help you in the future. But what is helpful to me is writing down like who my ideal client was and going back to that often. So writing out, just like you said, where do they spend their time? What are their goals, or what are their personal goals? What are their financial goals? What are the things that they're going after? What types of things do they like? Because not only does it help my content, but it also helps me in the way that I'm talking to my client on social, because yes, I recognize that some of the things that I might say are polarizing, but that's because I'm not talking to everybody. I'm talking to that specific person. And that's kind of how you need to, kind of go forth in creating a network. So I'll give you an example of how to start networking, because I feel like this might be a little bit more concrete. So I would go onto Facebook, because again, we have infinite ways to do this, and go onto a networking Facebook group, right? Instagram has this too. If you go to Instagram, you can go to certain places like hashtags that a lot of people are following, and you can start to connect with people and hop into the DMs, not spammy. Okay. We're talking, hi, my name is Kim. What's your name? I like ice cream. What do you like? Right? We're talking kindergarten level, like introduction. We're not trying to, pitch. We're not trying to do anything. We just want to make connections with people. I love doing coffee chats. So give yourself a link via Calendly or something like that and say, hey, I'm just trying to connect. I'm a new business owner and I'd love to just connect and find out a little bit more about you, right? Send them a link, and when they get on the link, just talk to them. You're not selling them anything. You're simply just trying to get to know them, right? You're not picking their brain to be like, let me get all the information about what you do and let me use that. Like, you're simply just trying to create a friendship, create a relationship, create a network, right? That's what you're doing. And I start to like write down their names almost on like an Excel spreadsheet to be like, this is what this person does or whatever. And then I just follow up with them like a friendship, guys. This is nothing like outlandish, right? Like if I see a post that she just made that was really good. Hey girl, that was a really great post. That was so awesome. That inspired me.
That's what I was going to say. If you're looking for like a kickoff point or a jump off point for a conversation, because not everyone, look, Kim, you're extroverted.
I am
extroverted. Some things that we do come easy for us because we're people. We're people. We're person people. I don't know what to say or what to call it, but it's not hard for us to talk to somebody. But if you're introverted, that could be very daunting for you.
It's true.
So I think commenting on a post and just saying, hey, I saw that, you just sold 5 units of coffee. That's incredible. I love coffee. Tell me more about what kind of coffee was it? I don't know.
Just get on.
Make a natural connection based on something that they said and tie that into your message.
Exactly. And that's what you're doing to pretty much everyone. You're not worried about like what type of presence they have online, because you might find someone who is at the same level as you and you guys can kind of be buddies, and like business besties are a real thing. You can watch each other rise. You can share resources with each other. Like, oh, I found this really great thing that might be really helpful for you. But then you also might be connected with something that's called a multiplier. And that multiplier might not ever work with you specifically, but they love what you do. They see your growth. They're like, wow, you're really trying to create relationships with me. I have an audience that might be really great for you to come to and talk to. That's where being on podcasts are a really great thing, because when you get on podcasts, you're able to get to a different audience. That's when going live in other people's groups is really great, because then again, you're being served to different audiences and people are getting to know you, and you're being seen as an expert in the field that you're trying to go into. And sometimes you might even partner with people. So that's been a huge thing for me in terms of like how my business has grown. I've connected with other people that started off with just those simple conversations. Hey, I like your post. You're really cool. In fact, Marissa, who we'll talk about, she'll probably be on the show later on.
She will.
She was super intimidating to me because there wasn't a lot of people talking about money in the way I was talking about it. And then she came through and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so intimidated by her. She is just like, whoa, I can't compete, right? So what did I do? I went and talked to her because I was like, well, you know what? If I feel this way, I need to go ahead and knock down that limiting belief by saying, hey, love your posts, like love your vibe. Everything is amazing. How are you doing? And we started connecting more. And when she came up with her networking group, which is called Invest Like a Woman, she was like, hey, Kim, I'd love for you to come on and actually be a leader in here, because I don't want to talk about day-to-day budgeting. I want to talk about investments, but you are really great at talking about this. And I see your drive here.
It sounds like
great networking.
You Susan Jeffers that situation.
I sure did, because fear is what? That's not feel the fear anyway. And do it anyway.
Do it anyway. That's what you did.
Because what's the worst that could happen? Right. I'm never going to see her. In fact, she lives 3 hours away, and I still haven't seen her.
Well, baby steps.
Anyway, yes.
I'm not telling you to go see people. Just do it online.
Yeah, do it online. Do it online.
So, in order to expand your network, we've said you need to, first of all, figure out what it is you want. What do you want? All right. And then figure out where those people spend their time. And you need to go to where those people, if it's on Instagram, go to Instagram. If it's on Facebook, go there. Whatever the platform is, you need to go where the people are.
Where the people. Oh my gosh. How many movie references?
See, I was about to sing it, but you sang it.
Wow. Okay.
All right. So once you know where the people are, it's very important that you make your online presence clear.
Yeah.
Your profiles need to be polished. You need to make sure you are a vocal thought leader in your space. If someone finds you and they go to your space, it needs to be abundantly clear what it is that you do. If I go to your page and all I see is a bunch of pictures of like your kid or your dog or whatever it is, and I have no idea what your business is or what you're like, I'm out.
Truthfully, though, there are certain times, like now in my time of business, that I will go to someone that I'm like considering working with or wanting to network with. And if I go to their profile and it looks like, it's just like, not that I don't love your family's adorable. But if I go and I just see your family and then like a post that you shared that was like, very, whatever, that was very, and I go through like the last 5 posts and there's nothing about your business. I'm like, I don't know if this person is serious enough about their business for me to even, reach out to them.
I would just think that person's a hobbyist.
Yeah. I would be like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like, that's fine. But I'm looking for people who are serious about growing their business, whether it's, so that to me is like a telltale. Like I look for profile, and I feel like that's the internet, the Facebook has been around so long. We should know that by now. Like you need to make sure that you have a profile that is, everyone should be able to see what you do
instantly
and who you serve by just clicking on your name in a profile.
Nobody has time for that,
No.
to get to know you through your profile. Like I need to know right away. Time is money.
Yep.
Join like-minded communities. So we've said, know what you want, find where your audience is, make your presence clear, be a vocal thought leader in your space, and join those like-minded communities. So while you're there, participate in some discussions. So that way people are seeing your name, you're presented as a vocal thought leader, and people see, oh, that Kim Graham. I've seen her name pop up quite a few times.
Legit, that has happened. And it's so interesting how it occurs, right? Because I'm just sparking conversation, or I might be talking on other people's posts. Something that I want to share here, especially if you're a business owner, is to release the expectations, right? Release the financial expectation that the moment I make this post, I'm going to make $1 million. Like that's not going to happen. Okay. Release that and just think through the perspective of I'm here to connect. If I've made a connection with someone and they respond back to me, I've made a connection. That's all we're looking for here. And so if you're able to do that, then you've won, right? You've won the day. So if you go to certain posts, sometimes it's not my post that gets the most engagement. But if I go to another post, and sometimes in Facebook especially, and I believe in Instagram, you could probably do this too. That's what hashtags will help you do. You could look up hashtags, but in Facebook groups, you can actually search within the group for different keywords. So I'll look for things like wealth, money.
Koi ponds.
No, that's an inside joke. If you're a part of his origin
on
Instagram, you would know what that means.
You would know what a koi pond is. Or why it's
so all of those things. So I would look up specific keywords that were specific to my niche. I would go to those posts, don't care if they're like a week old or whatever, and I would go and comment on that person's post, or I would go and join the conversation. And that caused people to go look at my profile, which is jam-packed with knowledge about who I am, and cause people to friend me, which means that I can be able to get into a conversation with them. So like that right there, you're seeing the cycle of like how people are getting to know me and how I'm growing my network simply by saying, hey, let's not forget the beauty now that we're out of, I shouldn't say out of, because some people would be like, but out of quotation marks, this era of not being around people, but in-person networking events are actually so valuable. If there's ever an opportunity for you to share what you do in a vendor fair or in a networking event, go. Like those are really great ways for you to find your ideal client. In fact, because you can shake their hand, you can look them in the eye, you can talk to them and have conversations with them. And I feel like you might be able to get more of a connection easier that way because you're seeing someone in person rather than another like DM that's coming up in their mailbox. So don't forget, there is still power in seeing people face to face.
Right. So join like-minded communities, find and attend virtual events or in-person events. Honestly, Kim, your origin story came from an in-person event.
That's true.
You put yourself out there and won a trip on a LuLaRoe cruise.
You're right.
And when you went there, you networked, you met a ton of people. You went there with, a lot of people went there to vacation. You went there with business in mind. And you were going to meet as many people as you could. And while you were there, you had just a revelation, astonishing epiphany, realization that all these highly successful LuLaRoe marketers and sellers were doing terrible with their money, and they were struggling and they were in need of help. And you're like, whoa. I don't sell as much as you do, but I'm profitable. My business is profitable because I'm managing my money well.
Yeah.
How are you selling that much and you're barely getting by? Like this does something doesn't connect.
Yeah. Oh, a lot of people don't know, especially if you're a new listener, don't know that origin story. So I started business doing direct sales, mainly LuLaRoe. LuLaRoe, no matter what people say about it, I always say good things. I'm so happy with my time with LuLaRoe. It was I loved the relationships and connections that I made. I would not have been the person I am now without them. So, but I do think that there are a lot of people who misuse the network marketing model. I have lots of feelings on this because yes, we're creating networks, and yes, we're talking to other people, and yes, we are creating, within our businesses, we're creating VIP groups and connecting with clients. But in the midst of getting, inventory or selling their product, we forget that we need to also manage our money. And we're clouded by this idea, which is what I was looking at. This idea that, well, I have to make this first tier. I have to make this second tier. And when we're so focused on the trips that need to be made and the tiers that I have to hit, we forget why we even got into business. And we're so focused on, oh my gosh, that looks so glitz and glamour. I want that. And we've never paid ourselves. And that was like something that from the moment I started my business in LuLaRoe, I decided, it was actually the very first conference I ever went to in California. And I was so excited to be there. And I saw someone being praised for getting like a $25,000 sale, month in sales, whatever, for like 6 months straight. I don't know. It was something crazy like that. And so she was sitting right next to me. I was at the conference alone. So I'm going across country. I'm just here to be like, whoa. And I asked her later on, I was like, congratulations on everything. So excited for you. Tell me more. That was networking, right? Tell me more about how you got into the space in your business. I just started. So she's talking to me about all these things. And then the one thing she said was like, yeah, like I have all this inventory, but I'm still working my 9 to 5 because I can't figure out how to pay myself consistently. And I was like, I'm sorry. What?
Aka what?
Stop everything. You've been working so freaking hard, getting all these accolades, getting chips thrown at you. And that's great. But you can't pay yourself. I would much rather make my measly $5,000 monthly in sales, if that, and pay myself consistently because I'm home. I don't have to work. I don't have any debt. I'm actually in a better situation financially than this person is. Long story short, as we got even further, I won by making a video on YouTube, a trip onto the cruise, which was only for the top 1%, I don't know, of the company.
Of the sellers
in the company. It was the last cruise they took before they start doing the islands now because of COVID. Boo. But I'm happy. That was my very first cruise I ever went on. Anyway, so I go there, and that, exactly as Dan said, my whole goal was to connect and network with more high earning people so I could like learn from them. And this is what I heard often. I heard phrases like, I got a new credit card just to come on this ship, girl. Like, go enjoy yourself. I heard lots of, yeah, I don't even know. My accountant does it all. I don't even pay myself. I don't even know. Or I heard a lot of, oh yeah, I have like, $25,000. And I'm like, no, we should not be at this level, being like in copious amounts of debt and normalizing it. This is not financial freedom, my friends. So that was the thing that and I think that's not just from that business. That is across the board. There are businesses like that. And so I feel like there's a missed opportunity to teach how to manage their money in their business. There would be a lot more sustainable, like, network marketers. All that to say, connect.
Right. And it's like education, right? Most educators leave the profession within the first 3 years because they quickly realize, like, this isn't for me. Mm-hmm. The same thing is true with businesses, right? Most businesses fail within the first couple of years.
Yep.
And it sounds like a lot of those people, we're going to have that realization pretty soon, because if your business is not profitable, then it's a sinking ship.
Yes.
Right. And if they're spending all of those hours to sell $25,000 worth of product,
and not even
how much time
Yep.
how many hours in a week is that? And it's basically volunteer work.
Yeah, basically.
Because you're not getting paid for it.
Right.
Because you're wholesaling.
And I want to say, like, I've helped a lot of LuLaRoe retailers. Okay. So I don't want you to think that I just like upped and left and was like, peace out. Like, I went after those retailers and said, I will help you understand how to manage your money. I didn't even talk about the class that I went to that was specifically about profiting. And the lady who was in front, I cried when I met her because I was like, somebody else is talking about this. And she was a retailer, but I don't, we didn't end up networking. I tried to connect with her and I said, I think we have something here. And she was like, yeah, no. And I was like, okay. And then I started my own thing. But anyway, so she asked the question, how many of you do not pay yourself consistently? And over half the room of these top 1% multi 6-figure business earners are raising their hands. And I'm looking behind me and I'm like, this is not okay. Like, not okay.
And if this is happening in the top 1% of a business like LuLaRoe, this is happening in every single marketing business out there.
And that's what I learned when I got into coaching, and I was hearing people in the coaching profession making six figures. You've seen the posts. I made multiple six figures in the last month and everything like that. But then again, I've worked with some of those clients as well. I've worked with clients who are working up to multi-millions and are still not paying themselves correctly, not managing their money, have no idea where it's going. More money, as we said earlier, in terms of mindset, is not the answer. More selling is not the answer. If you don't understand how to manage it on a very basic level, you will always be right back where you started. Where did my money go? How did this happen? And so I just feel like I feel like we went on a tangent, but hopefully that was helpful in terms of understanding my origin story.
The Graham fam needed that. Trust me.
Yes.
All right. So quick recap. We said you need to identify your target audience, where they spend their time, what they're doing. So you got to go find them, know what your goals are. Like, why are you trying to attract these people? Join like-minded communities or make your online presence very clear. Find and attend virtual events, join discussions.
Yep.
When you're talking to people, and I know you probably want to say something, and maybe this is just me. This is relationship advice too here,
this
okay?
Is good,
When I'm talking to my wife's talking to me, listen more than you talk. People love to talk about themselves. When I come home from work, Kim's like, "How's your day?" I'll say a couple of things, but I'm like, "Babe, tell me about your day."
Oh, I will go
and
off.
she goes off, and I just listen because that's what people want. They want a good listener, right? That's why there's that quote, like, you have one mouth and two ears, right? You need to listen more than you speak. But the other part of that is make sure you actually listen and ask some meaningful questions. If you listen to your wife and then ask her a question about what she just said, she's going to know that you were actually listening, not that you were just like scrolling on your phone while she was talking or you're watching the game.
Yeah.
Right. So that's relationship advice. That's networking advice. When you're networking with people, do more listening, less talking, and ask some meaningful questions.
Yeah. Ask meaningful questions. Eventually we'll tell you guys about our safe word. I don't know. But I do think that it actually, my little rant that I did say goes back to like the networking. Because as you network and talk with people and ask those meaningful questions, you will find very clearly who your ideal client is, because you'll be able to say, oh, well, I talked to this person and I know, like, I hear more about them, and this is something that I really am passionate about because I keep talking about it. And so that was the case. I think that kind of brings it back to like this networking thing. So understand that the process of networking is going to help you understand your ideal client and help you understand where you're, like, the pain point you want to be able to solve.
So the final thing that you need to consider when you are networking with someone is find a way. Well, obviously follow up. You did mention that a lot. Keep that connection going.
Fortunes on the follow-up.
You need to offer value. You need to offer something to them, whether it's your ability to introduce them to someone else. Maybe that's the value that you bring to the table, or maybe you have some type of useful information that they could use or utilize. But in order to, you're pursuing them for a reason because there's something that they're bringing for you. You also need to have something to bring for them. So it needs to be a connection with someone else, or it needs to be useful. It needs to be something. There's got to be something.
Right. And it could be as simple as sharing a YouTube video, right? It should be as simple as sending a YouTube video of something that you both had in common. Maybe that you learned that you were like, oh my gosh, I found this and I thought this would be really interesting for you. Or I saw this post and I thought of you. Or when you see them writing a post that you like, blow it up, share it. Girl, I loved that post, right? So it doesn't have to be tangible, right? Or like money related, but it could just be that I'm supporting you. I'm here for you. I'm rooting for you. And then they'll reciprocate that. Wow, she's rooting for me. That really helped. I had a client, not even a client. I had a person who I talked to a lot, and I connected with her, and we were just having a quick like coffee chat or whatever. She talked to me. She goes, so tell me a little bit more about what you do. And I'm talking to her. She put up a picture of us when we had our Zoom call on her stories on Instagram and said, oh my gosh, had such a great call with KG Millionaire Coach. And, if you need help with blah, 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 check her out. And I got a client from that.
Wow.
So that is, I mean, I was like, wow, I was not expecting that at all. This was the most casual conversation ever. But because she was willing to be an ally and just go, you know what? I love what you do and it's so important. And I might not need you, but I know people who do. So I'm just going to go ahead and just share your post and just tag you. Like that is the epitome of what it means to network, is to connect and also to help grow their network while they help grow yours as well.
I love that. So we are wrapping up then part one of this conversation. We've kind of broken down networking, how to do it, you know, how to find your audience. And now we're going to move into the next segment, which is relationships. I'm going to go back and reiterate the statement from Rachel Rogers' book, We Should All Be Millionaires. This is our fifth takeaway. The takeaway is women should focus on building networks and relationships that can help them achieve their goals.
Yep.
So we're looking for relationships that are going to help us achieve our goals. Let me start with this right here. This is a quote from Secrets of the Millionaire Mind.
If you have not read this book, go get it.
We talk a lot of books, right? Psychology of Money, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. We Should All Be Millionaires. There's so many books that we've read, and they all have just such wisdom in them. You definitely need to check these books out.
Yep.
So when we're talking about relationships, here's my quote from my boy Harv. He says, "I'm sure you've heard the saying, birds of a feather flock together, but did you know," this blew my mind. "Did you know that most people earn within 20% of the average income of their closest friends?" 20% of the average income of their closest friends. So that's why you'd better watch who you would associate with and choose whom you'd spend your time with carefully. Wow.
Think about we talked about this in the previous episode about like the two groups of people that you would connect with, right? The one that's like talking more about like, you know, building wealth and all that stuff versus the one that's like gossiping and like whatever. And that shows like your, I guess, average of the groups of what you're talking about. If you are in a group of people that you call your closest friends and they are griping, complaining, constantly talking about money, but not in a positive way, you know, and you can tell that you probably don't have good money habits and you all laugh at it. Like, I cannot tell you how often that makes me cringe when people, especially on social, you can, you know, scroll through reels. Like I watched someone do a reel or a TikTok or something like that, where she was talking about a realistic, you know, paycheck budget. And so she was like, this is my realistic budget. I get my money and I recognize that my credit card's at $1,800. I'd try to pay it off, but I'm probably not going to be able to do that. I'm going to go and just get whatever food that I want. And I'd let go of my financial goals a long time ago. And I'm like, what? And everyone on there was like, girl, me too. And it's like a funny thing. And I'm like, that's not funny. Like, that's not funny. I feel like that's not funny. So you're going to have people, if that's what you're associating yourself around, the idea that money's a joke, oh, YOLO, like that feeling, but we're not actually doing anything with our, like, that's not funny. Like,
no. Right. If you're going to your broke ass Jeeves friends,
I love that you're so proud
money
of that.
advice, then you're going to get broke ass Jeeves advice, right? Like, that's what you're going to get. You need to surround yourself with people that are wealth minded.
Yeah.
Right.
And the conversations are different. Like, we could even use our friend group as an example here. So I have a group of girls called Goal Gals.
Big boats.
And big boats, right? So how it started was very weird. But actually, it kind of started with us. Like, we started to kind of create our own wealth building friend group. So we got out of debt.
We're weird. We're crazy.
So weird. At like 24, I don't know, 5. And when we got out of debt, we started to invest. People saw our journey and they were like, wait, you did what? Wait, you did what? And again, influencing, networking. They were like, how did you do that? We told them how we did it. Then all of a sudden they were paying off their debt. They were paying off their cars. They got extra jobs. They were doing all the things so that they could actually pay off stuff. Now they're talking, now we've built and cultivated a group that when we get together, like we have a Goal Gal group, and every quarter, this is actually before the pandemic, we kind of do it randomly now, but anyway, every quarter we would get together and talk about goals that we had for not just our future, like right now, not just for the things that we want to do today, but the future things we wanted to do. Like, I'm going to take more salsa dancing classes because it just makes me feel good. And I'm going to, take time for self-care, but I'm going to start investing more. I'm going to look more at this. Can we read a book together that's going to talk about wealth building? I can share like, hey guys, I had a $10,000 cash month, and they're like, hooray, I'm so proud of you. Right. They're not going, ugh, good for you. You know what I mean? We had a friend, even if there's something that happens in your work, cycle, right? It's so funny, the conversations we have. Oh, I have savings. And so, yeah, I can go ahead and just take a break from not having a job for like 4 or 5 months, and I'm not worried about it, or, hey, we're going on a trip. Do you guys want to go? Yeah, let's do it. It's going to cost this much in saving, till we go to the trip in January. We got it. Like, we talk about having fun with our money now, but we also talk about how to build our wealth as well in our conversations. It's not taboo. And I just think that is such a healthy way to kind of converse and have fun with your money.
That sounds like an amazing friend group. And not everyone is fortunate enough to have a group of girls or group of guys like that. But this doesn't have to be your best friend.
No.
This doesn't have to be your closest friend. Mm-mm. This could be someone you networked with and just said, you know what? I see that you're into the same thing as me. Have you ever read the book? I'm looking for a book to read. Have you ever read this book? I would love to read this book, but also have someone reading it with me that I could kind of just bounce ideas or just have like those aha moments with. So that could go back to your networking. You can you can cultivate and create, because that's what you just said, that's what we had to do, right?
That's what we had to do.
We didn't realize that's what we were cultivating at first. We were just kind of doing it on our own. But after we had those formulative years, right, people saw that and they did it. And then we all had something that connected us and we formed those groups. But you got to start making that group now. It takes time.
Yes. And you have to be the one. Notice that you said that. It wasn't like you have to wait for it to come to you. You have to create it. If your family is the one that's kind of toxic when it comes to finances and everyone's like, broke or whatever, and they don't have good money management, you have to be the one to go seek out that money-minded wealth building group for yourself. So again, making sure that the things that you're putting into your brain are things that are going to help you think about how to be more open-minded and wealth building minded, and building, going to a book club that talks about wealth, going to, I don't know, there's so many different things that you can do. Again, infinite amount of ways, especially in our day and age.
Not a big deal.
That are going to help you with that.
Right.
There's lots of ideas. You could put some in the comments below if you're watching and listening.
So maybe just a little fun thing to do. Maybe think about, what are the professions of your closest friends, and see if this quote is true. Are they within 20% of your average income? Mm-hmm. It's interesting. Like maybe they don't ask their friends their income. I haven't directly asked my friends their income, but I also kind of vaguely know what their income is, because it's something we talk about. Like we talk money. Like money is not some topic that is taboo for us. Like we have fun. It's not a flex. It's not a brag. It's just we enjoy talking about money because we enjoy the idea of building wealth.
And we enjoy what money can do for us. I love the idea that like we can just enjoy, like, yeah, let's go on a vacation. Let's go do it. Let's go on a Goal Gal, trip just for the girls and have a good time. And let's go be bougie. I went to a really fun, fancy restaurant with my girlfriends, and it was so nice. We spent a lot of money, like more than I normally spend on going out to eat. But it was like, this is our Goal Gals, I forgot what we called it. But regardless, like we went and got bougie and we were like, yeah, we did this. And it wasn't like taboo. It wasn't like, oh man, I gotta put this on my credit card, but YOLO. Like, no, it was just like, yeah, let's go do it. It was nice.
So with relationships, Chris Hogan wrote a book called Millionaire Next Door, or Everyday Millionaire.
Millionaire Next Door.
Millionaire Next Door.
Everyday Millionaire
I've read too many books. Original. Millionaire Next Door. And in this book, he talks about 4 different relationships that you need to have to build wealth. The first one is a coach. The next one under that is mentor. Then under that, you have cheerleader. And then below that, there's the last one, a friend. So a coach, a mentor, a cheerleader, and a friend. Everybody needs these 4 things when you're on your wealth journey.
Yeah.
So you need to think about to yourself right now, and we'll break down each one of these, but do I have these 4 things in my life? I will tell you that right now, I don't know that I personally have a coach. I feel like, and I'm talking about this podcast business, I feel like I have mentors. I definitely have cheerleaders and friends, but I don't know that I have a coach. So that might be something that's missing in my personal business. A coach is someone, according to Chris Hogan, is someone who stands on the sidelines and challenges you to keep making progress. When you fall, this is the voice that you hear yelling at you to get back up. What did Katy Perry say?
If you fall back down like 10 times, you got to get back up again. That's what she says. It was on a random thing that he saw and he would make fun of it. Okay. So when we're thinking about coach, I want you to check your money mindset. You might have thought to yourself, coach equals lots of money invested. That's a little bit crazy. That's normally the limiting belief that I hear when people are listening to me and they're like, what would it be for me to invest in a coach? Like, that just seems like a lot. You're not thinking future minded. You're thinking about where you currently are. Whereas I already see the path. Like when you tell me your situation, I'm already like, I know exactly what steps you need to take to get to your ideal goal. And that's what you're paying for someone to be like, let's go. Like, I see the finish line for you. I need you to keep going because this is the next step you need to take in order to get to the goals that you're trying to get to. And your finances. But here are some ideas that I'm just going to add in as a bonus. If you want to have a coach and you're like, man, I'm not ready to invest, the 5 to 10, sometimes more $1,000 into coaching to get someone to support me. Know your learning style. First of all, if you're a person who knows or gets better results, if someone is sitting right next to you and actually like knows your specific situation, then you're going to need a one-on-one coach, first of all, okay? Rather than group coaching, which might, not be able to give you specific advice. It's very like you get hot seat coaching and you're able to get some support, but it's not deep support. Know the type of learner you are and be able to like understand the importance of investing in the learning that you need, the teaching that you need. And to be able to help support that and you're like, oh, this is a lot of money. Ask the coach questions instead of saying, I just can't afford it. Don't be afraid to negotiate. Don't be afraid to say things like, hey, this is the budget that I can give right now. Can I pay you for a month? And then I would like to see what can happen if we're able to get X amount of dollars or whatever. If you can help me here, I would like to continue working with you. That's my guarantee, right? You want to be able to give a little bit to say, I really want to work with you, but this is all I can do for right now. Is there something else that I can do to be able to continue to work with you? Another thing that you can do is barter. When you're first starting a business, if you have a skill that's really good and you need something, then you can say, can we barter for this? Is there something that I can give you in replacement for the coaching? I know it's not going to be, or maybe it might be a less amount. So I needed a website that was beautiful. I don't want to do websites. It takes energy out of me. And whatever the person I was referring to, her name is Alishba, she's amazing, was like, hey, I need help with my finances. So we swapped. And I know that the ROI I gave to her but no matter what, like I was like, I can do this in my sleep. I'll help you with your finances. You build my website. It was perfect. That's all I needed, right? So there's a way that you can also like do some bartering there so that you can get what you want while still being able to use your your skills or whatever and helping the other person. Another way is to start with something that's a sliding scale. So maybe you start with a group program and you really, really dig in. You really focus on being at everything, not making excuses and telling the person, I really want to work with you personally. Is there any way that I can, do a one-off session or whatever, or emailing, like really, really dig in. When you show that coach that you're hungry, I guarantee you they will find a way to specifically work with you because they see your drive. You have to show up as the person you want to be, as a student that you want to be, and show that you're already getting results. And then I'm pretty sure that coach will just say, you know what, I see you, I hear you, I want to be able to help you a little bit more in this space, and this is what I can offer you. So those are some ideas to think about if you're like, I want to hire a coach, but it just seems like ridiculously expensive. Don't think about it that way. It's an investment in your future in the same way you invest in stocks, in the same way you invest in your savings account. It is an investment in you becoming a better version of yourself.
It will pay dividends. You will see a yield from
100%.
That coaching, right? The coaching that you received over the last 3 years has been invaluable. It has changed you as a financial coach, right? Like your offers have changed. The wisdom and the knowledge that you have has changed. Your platform, the way you present, everything has changed. You are 100 billion, 1,000% more
Thank you.
a better coach today than you were 3 years ago.
Thank you.
And a big part of that was coaching. And you will never not need coaching. Even your coaches have coaches, right?
It's
the
true.
most successful people that you know have coaches. Look at the NFL, the NBA, look at professional sports.
Serena Williams has a coach.
They have been doing this
A goat.
for so long. They've been playing, they know the sport in and out, right? They could write books on how to play the sport, and yet they still have a coach.
Even though their coaches might not have the skill set, like the coach of Serena Williams is not the GOAT, but they have more technical understanding in that specific field. They have more technical understanding that they're going to be able to help someone. And that is what she's paying for. And so when you think about that, think about the fact that even Serena Williams has specific coaches to help her refine her talent, even though she's retired by now. But still, like that, if you think about that, why shouldn't you get a coach? Everyone should have a coach.
Right. I agree. So after a coach, the next tier would be a mentor. So in Hogan's study, 86% of millionaires reported actively receiving mentor advice. A mentor is someone who has done what you do. They're on the same journey, but they're a few miles ahead of you. Hogan suggests not overthinking your mentor strategy. Stay on the lookout for someone you trust and take them out to coffee every few months. Save up some questions over time so you can have a deep, meaningful conversation when you meet. Ask them their stories, learn what makes them tick, ask them to tell you their biggest failures, what they've learned from them. Keep things informal and learn as much as you can.
This is such a good one. Like, this is a really good one that I feel can be good because a coach, again, you're paying and you want them to kind of yell at you. You don't want them to be your friend. You want them to kind of whip you into shape. A mentor is someone that you can kind of be like, man, this is where I'm stuck. I'm feeling really like this is like a really hard thing. And they can be like, I've been there. I got you. Here's what I would do, or here's what I did when I was in this situation. And because they are only a little bit ahead of you, you're like, okay, I'm on the right path. I'm doing the right thing. That is such a good, I don't know. I'm trying to think, do I have a mentor? I do. Do you have a mentor?
That's what I was saying. I feel like they don't know they're my mentor, but they are. There's a few people that I've been networking with who also have podcasts, and I've been talking to multiple people about their podcast and what they're doing. Some of them are a few miles ahead of me. Some of them are light years ahead of me.
Right.
But I'm talking to them all the time to see what they're doing.
Yeah.
I would also say this. You're my mentor.
Oh, babe.
And I'm not trying to be sweet. I'm being serious.
Oh, goodness.
Now I'm going to make it sweet. No. You have built a business over the last 3 to 4 years. So there's a lot of wisdom and knowledge and insight that you have that I didn't. Like the first week that I was putting this podcast together, the first week that I was putting Instagram together, you were there telling me, hey, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to think about. I think all of my posts that first week were just fun little like things that were just about me. And you were like, hey, so we need to think about our pillars of content. And, and you broke down like, there needs to be something about this, and something about this. And every day, that's what you should be posting. And I was like, wow, that was like
profound. It makes content so much easier.
Big knowledge.
Yeah.
So I feel like you, in a lot of ways, are also a mentor to me because
sweet, babe.
You are pouring into me, and I'm going to you and asking questions, and you're guiding me on this podcast journey,
on this business journey. Yeah, I definitely have a lot of people who were my coaches that I see. You're right, like maybe as a mentor, maybe they don't know it yet, but I watch them, and yeah, I think that's a really good thing to think through, like.
It absolutely is, to think about who are these relationships in your life, right? Because a coach, you probably have to pay for.
Yeah.
A mentor, you're probably not paying for. It's probably just someone you know and you're just networking with, and you meet up with them every few months just to say, hey, it could be online. You can meet online. Be like, hey, can we just like FaceTime real quick? I just want to catch up with you and see how's life.
Right. It could be someone like, I mean, again, like the girl that I just went on FaceTime with, on Zoom, and we were just catching up. We're both moms. We're both, really driven. I love her drive. And I'm like, I just want to be around you. Like, you're just a really cool person. And it's not that you, quote unquote, know more than me, but you just have a drive that I just want to be around. We don't have to be besties, but I just want to talk to you every once in a while, like, and catch up with you. And so
you can be business besties.
You can be business besties. And so I do like the idea that they said, like buy them coffee every once in a while. That's a huge thing because you don't want to, the worst thing that you can do is hop into my DMs and say, can I pick your brain for a second? don't know.
Wine and dine me first.
I mean, come on.
Come on.
Give me, like, I'm not saying.
Went for it.
You just went for it. And it's people that I haven't seen. They've watched me, but they haven't talked to me. They haven't liked my content. They haven't done anything. And then they come in and go, hey, can you help me? Blah, blah, blah. No, not really. No, I actually come with a price tag. But if you want to, like, if you're just asking a quick question about how to start your own business or whatever, sure, let's meet up on a Zoom or something. But like, don't just
Venmo me like a Starbucks gift card.
I mean, someone just did ask me. She's a travel agent.
Go buy coffee and then let's talk on FaceTime.
And I told her, I said, just buy me coffee and I'll make it for you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Yeah. Like, don't just expect the person to be like, let me stop everything for you, you know?
Right. Again, networking, you got to foster and cultivate that relationship. It takes time. Right?
Yeah.
So play the long game. That's what I did with Kim. I waited nearly 9 years before I proposed. And here we are, 21 years later.
Oh, geez.
We've been together since we were 12.
Still can't believe
play the
that.
long game. So everyone needs a coach. Everyone needs a mentor. So think about who those people are in your life. And if you're missing one like I am, then maybe pursue that and think about getting that. All of us probably have these next two because they're the lower tier. But if not, find these people in your life. The next one is a cheerleader.
Right.
Everyone needs a cheerleader. Kim, who's your biggest cheerleader?
You.
Yeah, I am.
You are my biggest cheerleader.
Yeah, I am.
He is the best when I'm having moments of like, I can't do it. He's like, yes, you can. You're amazing. Like, he's the best cheerleader.
A cheerleader is someone who believes in you and is there to encourage you no matter what. Kim always talks about riding the wave, right?
No, you talk about riding the wave.
Okay.
I listen to it.
Ride the wave.
Yeah.
Business has its highs and its lows. No matter where you are in your business journey, you could be at the beginning, you could be super successful. You have good months and you have bad months. You have good weeks and bad weeks, good days, bad days. Ride the wave. When
Even
you're
your
in
financial
that valley,
journey.
when you're in that trough, you're going to go back up.
Yep.
It's going to happen.
As long as you keep pursuing it, right? That's where new things grow. Notice that when you have mountains and the valleys is where all the flowers grow, right? That's where new life can start and begin. And then as you start to ascend that mountain, sometimes there's a lot of trees, but when you get to the tippy top of mountains, most of the time there's not a ton of trees. It's not a ton of life up there because it's very solitude. Like, it's very lonely sometimes up there, and you're like trying to share whatever. But it's a feat that you're like, yes, I did it. Right. So give time for things to cultivate and grow as you're rising to the next top of your wave. And then when it starts to do its thing, ebb and flow, like, it's okay.
Now, I will say this. We're talking about building generational wealth.
Right.
You cheerlead for me and I cheerlead for you. But here's what Chris Hogan suggests. He says the best cheerleader. Now, if you're trying, so his book is all about becoming a millionaire, right? Millionaire Next Door. So you're trying to be a millionaire just like these millionaires that are in the book. So the best cheerleader for an aspiring millionaire, someone, if that's their goal, your best cheerleader is someone who's already crossed the 7-figure mark. They know the challenges you're up against. They'll be a constant reminder to you that you too can make it. So if your goal is to be this businesswoman who has so many followers or so many, whatever your goal is for your business, you want to find someone to cheerlead for you that's already crossed that mark.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is why a lot of the coaches that you will go to, right, after they're done coaching with you, if you've had a close proximity with them, will probably become your biggest cheerleaders, because you can just be like, I did this. And they're going to be like, yeah, heck yeah, you did. Because they know where you've come from. And because you know that they're consistently pushing forward, you know that you're getting the best support for your pushing and your going for greatness there.
I love that you said that, because I guess for whatever reason I was picturing a coach as like you hire them and then they're gone, but they're not gone.
No, my coaches
stay in your life
still
forever.
Talk to me.
They could become that mentor that you chat with every 3 months. They could become that cheerleader that you message to say, hey, here's what I did or here's what I'm going through, and they just give you a little statement.
I also have a good thing to say about this as well. And I know we're about to wrap up with friends and stuff like that. I want to talk about the fact that a cheerleader is great, right? And a friend is great, which we're about to talk about. But a friend, this is the thing that's beautiful about Daniel and I's relationship, is that I recognized when the cheerleader and friend was not enough. And not saying that he's not enough, but his knowledge of what I'm doing can only go so far. So he would tell me, I would have these amazing ideas, notebooks and notebooks filled with ideas that I wanted to do with
So
the
many
next step of
notebooks.
so many notebooks of ideas I wanted to do for my business. And I would be like, what about this? This sounds like a really great way. And this is how I would price it out. And this is how I would do this. And he would go, yeah, sounds amazing. Sounds wonderful, babe. And then I would have other ideas and he would be like, yeah, amazing. So proud of you, babe. Like you're going to do amazing things all the time, right? Eventually,
Very positive.
I got to the point where I was like, not all of these are good ideas, babe. Some of these ideas suck, but you have no idea because you've never walked through these shoes before.
You're like, I literally just wrote a bad idea on purpose and you said it was awesome.
You said it was great because I said it, right? So that's when you realize
It did sound
you know
good when you
what?
said it, though.
I know. That's when you realize I love my cheerleaders. I love my friends. I'm so glad that they're there, but I need someone who's going to give me strategy that's actually going to get me to the goal that I'm going after. And that's when you know that you need that mentor and you need that like close proximity of a coach, because that's when your strategy can really be refined. And all those ideas I shared with my coach, she was like, that sucks. That sucks. Do this instead. That's going to make you. And I'm like, thank you. That's what I needed. So
the last thing is a friend. Now, this one is super simple. All right. This one really isn't even about building generational wealth. A friend helps us to remind us that there is more to life
so good.
than just building wealth, right? We are very focused and driven to building wealth, but there is so much more to life than just that. And it's important to have your friends to keep you grounded and remind you like, hey, it's okay to touch grass. It's okay to like come outside and, go out to a store or go shopping or go to a club or go wherever you go to watch a
enjoy
movie.
the simple things.
Go to a park. All right. So there's more to life than just wealth building.
Yeah.
Don't get caught up in the rat race that you forget to touch grass.
Right. Yeah. That's a really good one too. I feel like you're my friend too. You're my cheerleader and my friend.
Thank you. Do you want to touch grass together? We should go outside and just touch some grass.
I feel like, I don't know. We do a lot of simple things together that sometimes I get caught up like, that's not really like affluent, is it? And I'm like, no, it is. Like, it is affluent to also be driving for something big, but also just enjoy the simple things like watching your kids run around the room and make a complete mess of the clean house you just created. Like, that is sometimes like my moment where I'm like, this is the simple life. This is what I'm working so hard for. More of this.
We just mopped today and our floors have never looked better. And you just reminded me that they'll only look this way
Until the kids come
the
back.
kids come home.
Yeah.
Graham fam,
Graham fam.
we have one last little nugget of wisdom from the Affluent Archive that is special to you guys because no one else is going to get to hear this. Only you. And this one is build a team.
Build a team.
Build a
guys.
team. Network, reach out to people, build a team that way. Have a coach, have a mentor, have a cheerleader, have a friend. These people are going to help you stay grounded, but also help you build generational wealth.
I have a CTA, even though we didn't write it down.
Okay.
I want you to identify one person that you already probably have in your mind. Identify one person that you can network with. Buy them a coffee, invite them out, for just a quick chat and just like tell them what your dreams are and ask them more questions. Or if it's on Facebook or, some type of thing on social, reach out to them in a DM and just congratulate them on the post or when they did that they just had and just have a conversation with them. That's your CTA.
Graham fam, this has been amazing. I'm so honored that you guys wanted to spend that time with us. I know, I'm not even gonna say I hope, I know that if you listened in today, you are walking away with wisdom and knowledge that is gonna change you.
Yep.
And that was our goal today. So thank you guys for listening in. Go live in love, walk in wealth. Have a wonderful day, guys.
We'll see you next time, Graham Fam.